everybody feeling fine. There ain't no business like show business, baby.
Show
It is showtime. We're
and we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have a good time, each and every one.
It's absolutely wonderful. It's indescribable. I never thought when I was doing this years ago that they would ever turn into something like this. In those days, we just hoped the books would sell and we'd keep our job and be able to pay the rent. I mean, we never in a million years would have imagined something like this. Oh, wait till I can't tell you what it is. It's probably my greatest acting role yet.
Really?
Don't miss it.
Would it be even better than your role?
What, dear?
Would it be even better than your role on the Big Bang Theory?
No, nothing is better than that, but it's almost as good.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Just to give you a testament for the type of filmmaking, it only took us 30 days to film it, but it took us 2.5 years to do all the post-production, because what you see on screen is so dense in terms of and complexity, so it was a really real challenge there.
Something that was really particularly interesting for me in watching the film and noticing the art was how well it represented the original comics. Can you speak a little bit about developing a system that actually had that sort of representation of the original artwork?
Well, Stephen was always very adamant from the outset that we had to honour Hergé's work, because that's the reason why we were doing it in this medium, so that we could really capture the essence of those panels. So really it was a case of just going through all the panels and all the comic books and taking every picture and poring over it to the nth degree, to the point where we were able to distill it down to the character you see on screen now. So yeah, it was a real challenge getting Tintin especially and the characters' faces to work right for performance.
I know that you also worked with the art director on the film, and I'm sure that they were very involved with the color and the look of the set. What was it like?
Sinclair. So his role was crucial to achieving what you were saying there about the detailed representation of that very simple panel art in the film itself. This is the first time that we're at digital, which traditionally we do visual effects in a post-production context. It's the first time we'd had an art department, a costume department, but that was the way that we approached this film as a digital equivalent of a live-action production.
And he was a huge Tintin fan, which really helped. So,
I'm a huge Snowy fan.
Exactly, so that really helps. If you're a fan of it, it was a joy to work on. It was fantastic.
What was it like going through the transition of going from Iron Man to Pirates?
It was a lot of fun. I'd had, with Iron Man and the Terminator films, I'd had a fair bit of heavy metal, shall we say, and this was something more organic, more creaturey, and Pirates gave us a chance to work on mermaids, which is like a wonderful mythological creature. It was a good opportunity to really explore something differently.
In working on a visual effect like a mermaid, what are some of the elements that you go through first? Is it looking at organic forms or finding something that's similar to a concept that you have in mind for what they should look like?
Yeah, actually it was pretty interesting exploration. There'd been a lot of development work with the director Rob Marshall up front, and he hadn't really seen anything that he really loved. And we tried everything. We went to a really extreme, creaturey, aggressive, fangs and scales and everything scary, like a harpy almost. And then he really, in the end, brought us back to something that's really kept the beauty of the actresses, added the scales and the tails, but kind of kept their upper bodies, at least when they're out of the water. It's still beautiful. But it was a long process, and we literally did make a really scary one and then reined it back and back and back until we got the version you see in the film, which is still pretty scary. But,
Yeah. Yeah. No, actually, it was interesting too. There's a lot of effect work that goes through the aspect of them being out of water for too long.
Yeah, well, actually, that's right. We actually thought a lot about it. Like, it was like, I don't know, it's a lot easier when you're doing something completely made up to try and ground it in some sort of explanation. So you find yourself inventing the physiology of a mermaid. And what happens when you take a mermaid out of water? You know, her tail drops off, or, you know, something like that. So that was kind of how we got our heads around it, and it helped drive the creative process of, okay, what would this look like? And we could then root it into real things. What we do, we try to be a little bit under the radar in terms of, you don't want people saying, oh, that's a special effects, but it's kind of good to have it all out there and say, yeah, that's a special effects. And that's what tonight's about.